Ahoy there, and welcome back to DohMance Dawn. I am Luke, he, him, sometimes they, them, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Janine.
Yeah! Hello, it's me, Janine, Juliet. My pronouns are she, they, and I don't have a third thing to say. And I guess I stopped looking for a third thing to say. I'm pretty sure I'll find a rhyme or something. Yeah, that's how I'm going to introduce myself.
Well, and I believe that for a few weeks there you didn't actually need a third thing to say because I was doing very high concept introductions.
That's true. That's true. Yes, we did get to experience a good number of different notes. Sometimes musical and quality. Um, I do like the kind of thing. I like when you have something prepared and I've got no idea.
Yeah, I was initially attempting to do something horror themed, and then I remembered the house remodeling introduction, and then just this week I finally got over COVID on Friday. We are recording on Sunday, and my mind is just healing from a prolonged period of stress. My wife made it through without contracting COVID, and as far as I can tell, I have no long term conditions. So, we're just going to do a basic episode this week. We don't have any Simpsons to cover, we don't have any characters to match. Next week, shit is going to start getting wild. And so you're just going to get me being nice and relaxed and placid like this. It's not quite ASMR, but I don't want to do ASMR. Sucks to your ASMR. Lord of the Flies.
Not quite the energy I was thinking about coming off of, but I did hear that getting COVID, coming out of it, you get like NPR host syndrome, and it's when you like really sound uh like you're trying to put someone to sleep. I don't know. It's very Diane Ream pilled.
I mean, if you want, I can go and talk in a more normal cadence like this.
If you want to try, if I don't stop me if you want to try something new. But
You know what else I could do?
what can you do?
Well, I could try talking like this, where everything just kind of ends with a question at the end.
I don't think that feels natural for you, and I think you'll end up hurting yourself.
Janine, human existence is hurting yourself, but trying to balance it out by doing things that bring you joy. Our bodies are finite entities on this planet. We only get so much time, and that balance is the important thing. And helping other people reach that balance is maybe the best thing that we can do with our time, with ourselves, with our money, with our care.
I think the second best balance we could be able to find is the balance between One Piece and The Simpsons. What do we do on this podcast?
This podcast is where we look at One Piece and The Simpsons as comparative forms of art, and then if we have new One Piece characters, we fan cast Simpsons characters in those roles. It's episode 59, Janine. We're at episode 60 soon, and we're coming up on episode 69. Nice. Yeah, that's right.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's an episode 69 watch.
I mean, we can already see it on the horizon, but like I'm pretty sure episode 69's title is basically like already predetermined going to be nice.
Only because I wasn't able to make it magical sexy jail adventure.
I mean, it's that in spirit. I
Well,
feel.
sorry,
I feel like the
sorry.
fans will know it as the magical sexy jail time episode.
Okay, maybe my brain is not fully firing back. When I say magical sexy jail time, I should have said secret queer prison episode. Because we're getting close to the secret queer prison episode. That's right, it's a
Dun, 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 dun. Rawr.
secret queer prison watch.
Okay.
Yeah, because in
I
secret queer prison, uh, everyone's queer, and that's the
uh
only way to escape oppression.
yeah.
Yeah. I did also have a mint in the last episode in a discussion that we had, which was what anime would Futurama be? And I had come up with a pick idea earlier, and then I forgot to write it down, and then I remembered it while I was editing the episode, and my actual pitch for Futurama is not whatever I said it was in the title of the last episode. Rave Master, I believe it was Rave Master.
It was
It
Rave
is,
Master, yeah.
yeah, it was dot hack / sign.
We don't normally say the forward slash is in it, but yeah, that's a great series. There are other different series inside of the dot hack genre that it's kind of like reboots that came out like sporadically,
Mhm.
or you could kind of like mix in like maybe like the video games or spin-off series that they had.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jenny, do you want me to do a magic spell that would make you feel old?
Okay.
My wife and I are doing a Futurama rewatch. We finally finished the other stuff that we had been watching, including Trial and Error, which, if you have Amazon Prime, you should check that out. Um, but we're at the Futurama reboot that happened a decade ago. Actually, over a decade ago.
Huh.
Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha.
It just kept coming back, huh?
Yeah, the new season starts this week,
Holy
which
shit.
is the second season of the current reboot. Yeah,
Timely.
it's the show that never dies, like they said. Because yeah, it shows that when you invest in animation that is written by people who really care about what they're doing, and you give them full length seasons, you can end up with shows that will continue printing you money. I mean, I'm not a fan of Family Guy, but that continues to provide a lot of money and a lot of jobs in animation. I am a fan of American Dad, and that provides a lot of jobs in animation. Like, investing in these series that can run long term and just slightly tweak and mutate and evolve as time goes on is a great way to make money, but you don't make that money if you do like, oh, well, we're going to have a 10 episode season and then a second episode, or and then a second season that we're not going to promote, and then we're going to cancel it there because nobody cares, because that doesn't build you the connection that you need. The only
Yeah.
reason why Clone High got to where it was partially because of how controversial it was, partially because of how well written it was. And then HBO Max canceled it after the second reboot season because it was under promoted. And I keep seeing people on the fucking Reddit for it saying, wait, the second season came out? When did that happen? And it's like, well, it's too late for it to matter because HBO Max said it's not coming back.
Huh.
But yeah, Futurama's .hack / sign.
And we say the forward slashes.
Uh-huh. The forward slashes are important.
Killer soundtrack on that one. Like, I still have some of the musical pieces inside of like playlists I have for like OCs and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I've never watched any of the series. We are covering episodes that ran today between July 20th and September 7th of the year 2008. There's no Simpsons during this time. This would have been when I was. Oh god, this was when I was blowing through my college graduation gift money on Magic the Gathering. Yeah. Like, I got, I think, like $3,000 in like gifts from various people because this was when my mom's church still liked her, and they were like, well, we have to give the pastor's son some sort of graduation gift. And then like I got to college and it was like, okay, well, my parents are dropping me off and they said go and spend the money you have on groceries, and it's like, oh, I have like $75 left. Fuck. Yeah, there was no meal plan at the college. The meal plan was learn how to cook.
Well, I'm glad to know that you survived.
Did I, Janine? Technically, if you think about the way that cells grow and decay, I am no longer that person that I was 10 years ago. Over 10 years. Fuck. Oh, like 15 years ago. Oh god, I'm old.
I cast the spell myself, and now I
Uh-huh.
made you feel old.
I can do old all by myself.
I can
mean,
do
I
it with
think.
my eyes closed. Watch this. Oh my god. See? I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt old.
But you know what the important thing is, Janine?
What's that?
I no longer have to give a fuck about Captain Tsubasa. Look for that episode coming out from Play Comics in the next month or so.
Whoa.
Yeah, I did a podcast where I summarized the first arc of Captain Tsubasa in about an hour. It's weird. Uh, Today we are discussing episodes 363 through 369. Nice! Of One Piece.
Nice.
These episodes include Chopper's Rage, Hogback's demonic medical practice,
Oars roars, corn stars, horse.
the enemy is Luffy, the strongest zombie versus the Straw Hat crew.
Defeat Absalom. Nami's lightning attack of friendship.
One down. Sure kill Straw Hat docking.
Soundless invasion. The mysterious visitor. Kuma, the tyrant.
Oars plus Moria, the greatest combination of brains and brawn. So yeah, One Piece. If this is your first episode, I know we say it a lot, but you've made it in like over 10 minutes. So congratulations. We hope this is to your liking, and we also hope that this is not being used as evidence in any sort of court case against me.
I hope not, because this would be a very weird one for people to listen to for court evidence. Because, to be honest, this episode, this arc, Thriller Bark itself, kind of not the best with women, I'm discovering. So, we're
Sometimes
sorry.
you
We're
just want
sorry,
to
women.
for someone.
Apologize to women, Luke, right now. We're sorry, women. Luke, come
We're
on.
sorry, women.
We're sorry.
We're
One
sorry.
Piece be like that, I guess.
Yeah. 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 So, in the dance hall, 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 Hogback gloats as Anupe and Jigoro have captured Chopper and Robin. Chopper says that he regrets ever looking up to Dr. Hogback, and Hogback's just like, fuck you, I was never in it to help people in need, I was in it for money! In response, Chopper decides that he won't even accept Hogback as a doctor anymore because he mocks human life, and Hogback still is like, I don't care about human life, I care about money! and he assaults Sindri and then commands her to lick the floor because he doesn't consider her alive. And Hogback gets into Sindri's backstory where she was an actress that he was fascinated with, who he had helped when she was still alive, but she was in love with another man, and when Hogback proposed to her, she turned him down, and then she died in an accident. He quit his job, and Mori was like, hey, if you work for me, I'll bring you back. And so Hogback was like, cool. But then her new personality didn't match up with the one that he liked, and so he's like, oh, fuck this. I'm just going to treat you as property. I'm going to treat you horribly. And then, why does this woman be so mean to me? Like, Hogback sucks.
Hogback sucks. Like,
Hogback sucks.
It sucks that I feel like I used to know dudes that would, like, have fallen into his same evil path.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if given the opportunity to be able to reanimate corpses. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is next level creepy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the Olympics are going on right now as we record it. If there was an event for creepiness, this guy would get gold, silver, and bronze all by himself.
No,
His own fat ass just standing up there on the podium, just being creepy for everybody.
Janine, he wouldn't get silver. Or he would only get silver and bronze. Because you know who gold is going to?
Who's it going to?
JD Vance and a couch. Timely! And it'll hopefully not be something that is bitterly ironic when this episode comes out. So, Hogback orders Sindri to rise and attack the pair, and while Sindri starts throwing plates, Chopper tries to get her to listen to him so he can purify her, but Inupe and Jigoro attack, interrupting him again. Jigoro's attacks almost hit Inupe, which causes the two of them to start fighting, and then Robin is able to interrupt Hogback, making them interrupt Hogback, so he ends up telling them to destroy everyone else except for him and Sindri, and then he accidentally tells them to jump out of the tower to destroy themselves, which they do because they obey. Hogback then tries to order Sindri to step in and protect him, but Robin reaches Sindri's soul, and she is unable to move as she starts to cry. Sindri's shadow and body are at odds, and so Robin grabs her while Chopper attacks the escaping Hogback. He picks Hogback up, and then Robin adds extra height to him to allow Chopper to try and do a mega suplex on Hogback.
It's one of the fucking coolest things ever. Look,
Mm-hmm.
this is dumb in any other context other than wrestling. But the fact that One Piece is also wrestling, like, it makes sense that your team attack is a suplex that is done when your friend gives you extra feet to gain extra feet, if you know what I mean.
It's very literal. Meanwhile, Oars returns to Moria, who reveals that he has placed the Straw Hats posters on Oars' arm and sends the giant zombie to catch them, which leads to some great callbacks because Sanji has that really bad illustration of him, and Usopp does not actually have a bounty because Soge King has the bounty. Sniper King! Yeah, I'm not going to do the whole thing.
We don't have time for the whole thing.
So, Oars attacks with a kind of Gum Gum Bell, which breaks the room where Chopper and Robin were fighting Hogback and Sindri. Chopper abandons Hogback, who then gets smashed under a massive rock before Oars walks on him, and everyone's kind of like, well, I hope that guy never gets up again. Oars then breaks into the chapel next, and Absalom uses the moment to steal Nami away while Sanji gets caught up in the destruction. And when Sanji gets back up, he tries to stare down Oars by treating him like Luffy, which kind of works. Hildon, poor, sweet, beautiful Hildon, returns to the castle looking for Moria, who had run off, being pursued by Luffy. Hildon finds Inupe and Jigoro, who are still fighting. and then he accidentally interrupts Absalom before he kisses Nami. And he finally finds Moria and tries to warn him about Oars, but Moria just doesn't give a shit. Like, I I hate Moria. He is an asshole man, but I admire his commitment to not giving a shit and letting his people work it out.
Yeah, like he's very singular minded that this Oars thing is that's the only thing that matters.
Hmm.
Literally destroy everybody else.
Yeah, like he is delegating way too much work, but also, yeah, I want to be a guy who just sends a bunch of skeletons or minions or whatever in a video game, and they just like raid through everything, and then I get to go and open up the treasure chest and be like, "Yay, treasure!"
Well, for better or worse, he found middle management that worked really well with him to just kind of take care of a lot of the stuff so that he can, what we see a lot of him doing, sit on his ass and just kind of lay around.
Mm-hmm. Oars grabs Sanji before Usopp hits the massive zombie with a Firebird star, which briefly stops him, but this only makes him aware of Usopp and Chopper's location. As Oars charges at them, Zoro attacks, cutting off one of Oars' tusks before Oars sends him into the air. Frankie tries to shoot Oars, but he dodges and chucks a literal tower at Frankie and Brook, knocking both of them down. Robin is able to catch Zoro in a net of arms, and Usopp uses the time to hit Oars with salt, but it's not enough to purify him, and he smashes everyone. And as Oars starts to look through the posters, he knows that he still needs to find Nami, Luffy, and Sniper King. And it is great to see like this big fight. Like this is very much D&D shit.
It is. I mean, just the way that a lot of this stuff is just set up, it got me thinking to myself, oh, okay, so this is kind of like everybody attacking in on this one person. Kind of, I don't want to say Tarask fight because I'm pretty sure things are going to get a lot more tough from here.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, giant demon fight.
Mm-hmm. And it's also something where they are being creative, which I appreciate. I had run a 13th Age campaign, and are you familiar with that RPG, Janine?
I've seen the books, I've never cracked them open.
So it's made by a bunch of the people who did D&D 3.5, but their idea was instead of like being a fighter in the world, you are the fighter. Instead of being a cleric, you are the cleric. Like you are the exemplar. You are the only one of these people in the world. And one of the things that they do is if you come up with creative ways to attack your opponent, you get bonuses. Like if you come up with creative descriptions of things, you get bonuses. And I had a party where there was people who absolutely struggled to do that, and people who were like, "Oh no, this is great. I love to be creative. Yeah, let's get wild." And I feel like this is a bunch of people who were like, "Let's get wild."
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Perona, meanwhile, wakes up surrounded by her wild zombies. When Oars comes looking for Nami, she thinks that Oars is looking for her and decides to run away from Moria, calling it quits, which, good for you, Perona. Get out of there. Nami then finally wakes up before Absalom kisses her, only for Lola to appear, saving her and pretending that Nami still tried to marry Absalom and that she's angry. Lola reveals that she thinks that Nami is a man and uses her fake rage to let Nami escape, but then Absalom shoots Lola. Fucking Absalom. He then promises to keep chasing Nami forever, but Nami is legitimately upset about what he did to Lola. She attacks with her tempo, electrocuting Absalom and knocking him out, partially because he was already weakened from the fight with Sanji. Nami goes to check on Lola, who gets back up, realizes that Absalom is knocked out, gives him a big old kiss, and then catches Nami up on what's been happening.
I love the just sisterhood between these two characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just definitely shows you that like women can just like just team up in the weirdest places. Like
Yeah.
I've been there like since transitioning. It's been weird, but I've had experiences inside the bathroom of some place of just like some drunk white girl just talking me up and making me feel like queen shit. Like this shit happens, and like the fact that it's happening between like hog faced woman and Nami, and they're both in wedding dresses, and Nami's running in heels the entire time, and it's just
Solidarity.
for all of the different things that are bad for women, this right here feels like a nice little area of solace for two women to just
Mhm.
come together and fucking kick this weird dude's ass. And that's what I needed,
Mhm.
really. Just to see
Yeah.
him just get entirely owned. Not
Mhm.
by Sanji who's saving somebody, but by the woman who's like is his victim this entire time.
Mhm. Yeah, like Nami not really getting a full fight, but getting the final. She takes him out, and it's because of like everything that she's been through. I think that is great, and it is a shame about what is going to happen to Lola if they return everybody's shadows.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, she she lived she lived well for when she had.
Yes. As Luffy chases after Moria and the Shadow in the woods, Oars chucks a massive rock, causing Luffy to lose track of him. Meanwhile, the rest of the Straw Hats get back up to confront Oars, and they plan to take back Luffy's shadow by force. Nami, meanwhile, reaches the treasure chamber of the castle, which has been empty since Perona took all of it, and that is when she luckily finds and captures the Risky Brothers zombies. Outside, fighting Oars, Frankie calls the members of the crew for their special attack, Docking 6 Giant Robot Warrior Emperor, where the members of the crew are supposed to form a giant mech, but Robin refuses to join in, betraying everybody, upsetting Oars and the guys. Like, total betrayal. I told you, this awful betrayal was coming, Janine.
I'm Team Robin. I wouldn't do it. It's such a boy thing. It's so stupid and dumb and totally not helpful.
Janine, it's about dreams. It's about the dream of being part of a giant mech. It's fine. I know there's plenty of trans gals who are like, no, I would definitely help the guys with
Oh
their
my
docking.
god. Are you did you did you want to make a mech with me one day? And like is this like breaking your heart that I'm not going to go ahead and be like I don't know. I'd probably have to be a leg piece. I am too tall and top
Oh,
heavy to be held.
yeah. No, I am also a definite leg piece. Um, no, I don't think like two people could make a good one, but just the power of teamwork to form a giant robot warrior. Janine, you know what I have to say?
What's that?
Dun, 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 dun. Rawr.
It's a giant robot warrior watch.
It's a giant robot warrior watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, Brooke, meanwhile, ran into the kitchen where he found a bottle of milk, which he uses to restore his bones before stumbling into the salt supply. Back outside, Zoro creates a sword column nunchuck and works with Sanji and Usopp to try and break Oar's arm. When Robin pulls it back, well, Frankie Minecraft stares up with Chopper to punch Oars in the face, while Sanji also tries to break his ankle. The attack works, Oars falls down, and his horns get stuck in the ground. Teamwork! Meanwhile, as Perona loads the treasure onto the ship, fellow warlord of the sea, Bartholomew Kuma, appears looking for Moria, as Nami heads back to try and save the treasure and the ship. With Oars stuck, the rest of the crew decides to attack him until he finally breaks free. They try doing docking 3, where Sanji kicks Usopp, Chopper, and Frankie onto Oars, and then they just start kicking him and insulting him until he punches himself. And Usopp realizes that Oars is like Luffy, so he has the same weaknesses, and they work to distract him so they can try and take out his knees. Like, I appreciate that it is fun to see them struggling to take down this big boy.
Yeah, but I also do like seeing the different ways that they could be able to just come up with something.
Mhm.
Like, he still hasn't been inside of that body that long. There's still a little bit of Luffy left in him, enough for that you can say meat to distract him, enough that he's like still saying gum gum before every strike.
Mhm. Yeah, it's very good.
And it's like, yeah, if under different circumstances, you should be able to kick your teammate's ass. If he just happens to be like a fucking huge demon guy, you just do the same things, just larger.
Mhm. Nami finds Perona and the zombies on the ship, and Perona prepares to attack Kuma and Perona prepares to attack Nami before they notice Kuma behind her. The zombies warn Perona that Kuma has already made other zombies vanish. He asks Perona if she works for Moria, and when she admits to wanting to get out of there, he asks her where she'd like to go on vacation. And for some reason, she says she'd love to go to a place with a creepy castle. She tries to stop him when he reaches out to touch her, and then she vanishes. Bye, Perona, you're dead forever.
I don't believe that. This show can't kill anybody.
Yeah. I mean, death is really the hole in the ace. He then asks Nami about Luffy, who he references as Ace's brother, and then Kuma heads off after Luffy, doing a weird type of movement where he doesn't really walk anywhere. He just appears. What are your vibes for Kuma?
I don't know. This feels like he's different from when we first saw him, but I can't put my finger on it.
Fair. Luffy finally catches Moria in the woods, but then realizes that he only caught the shadow Doppelman instead, who then flies off, and Luffy remembers that he still needs to get the shadows back before the morning. Zoro, meanwhile, decides to use his new sword on Oars and challenges him to a fight. And the new sword hits Oars. Oars tries to crush Zoro, and in the dust, Zoro gets in another hit that almost knocks Oars out. Usopp tries to argue that they should wait for Luffy to finish Oars, but Zoro reminds Usopp that Luffy is easily tricked, so they can't expect a fair fight, which it's good to know your teammates' weaknesses.
That's true.
Frankie estimates that they have about 30 minutes left till dawn, even through the fog, but that is also when they realize that because Oars messed with the ship when he was playing around, when he was more Luffy in personality, Thriller Bark is now leaving the fog of the Florian Triangle. Which means that timer is a lot more fucking Rio now, Janine.
Well,
Yeah. Back in the woods, two mysterious figures realize that Luffy must be lost inside and they need to help him. Moria then meets up with Kuma and he is unconcerned about leaving the fog. Kuma informs Moria that Blackbeard is now a warlord because he handed Ace over to the world government. And the world government is also worried that these Straw Hats might also take out Moria. And Moria is actively insulted by the idea. And Kuma admits that he was only sent to warn him. And Moria's like, yeah, I don't care. He then appears inside of Oars, piloting him like a giant robot, which excites Oars. And Moria sneeringly promises that if the Straw Hats defeat Oars and Moria, he will release all of the shadows. Zoro tells Usopp to get enough salt to purify Oars, But when Oars goes to smash Usopp in response, he's saved by Brook, who has arrived back with all the salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think Moria is going to be able to do inside Oars?
Well, let's see here. He's got plenty of time to have done a lot of crazy stuff inside of that body. So I am going to guess that his chest would open, and where his nipples would be two missiles like Metal Greymon.
Or Frankie?
Frankie does that? He's got nipple missiles. I shouldn't be surprised with as much stuff as that pervert has done.
I mean, he does eventually get nipple lights.
Well, those are some high beams.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they can tell you when it's cold outside.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah, that's what we have for this week. I am excited because next time stuff is going to get more wild, and you know what we're going to get?
What are we gonna get at?
Flash Lola.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine. I'm excited. I definitely do want to see Flesh Lola.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we don't have any characters to match, but you know what we do have?
What do we have?
We've got questions. Questions. We've got a lot of questions. Questions I need some answers. So we're going to answer them now.
You'll be able to submit questions to us when we call for them on our Discord page, or
Or
Discord,
Blue Sky.
or our Blue Sky page. There we go. I was mixing them up together.
Yeah, actually, I didn't check if we got any on Blue Sky this week, but I think I forgot to post more about them. So let's double check. You getting live action? Nope. So, King Atticus on the Discord wants to know if you could invite a Straw Hat out for a meal, who would you take and what would you have? You each pay for your own food, so you don't need to worry about those with bigger appetites.
Probably be Robin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just at her age, just at everything that she knows. Like, I want to know everything about a world that doesn't exist and everything that's in it. But also, like, I don't know. I feel like she definitely deserves to have that nice time and just feel like a woman and just let her hair down and
Enjoy
it's fine.
Whataburger.
It's fine if we can dance close. It's not like there's anybody else really here. Just you, me, and Ronald McDonald. I don't know.
You aren't taking her to McDonald's. You're taking her to Whataburger if you're taking her to any burger place.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, I feel like I gotta take her someplace for better than that. But then again, Whataburger does have pretty good salads. So even if she does go light, she's still gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I'll accept that. See, with me, I'm a married man, and you know what? I feel like I would get along with Usopp, and you know where we're going, Janine?
Where are you going?
Skyline Chile.
Hell no. You are terrible. Why would you willingly go there? Why would you take anybody else there? It is a war crime that you're doing that. I thought you loved Usopp.
I do. I want him to enjoy the same things that I do. They have floats right now. You can get a red cream soda float, or a Fanta float, or a Coke float, or a root beer float. And
Oh, we love root beer here on
we do.
DohMance Dawn.
We do. And they have bottles of hot sauce at all the tables.
Mm.
And I feel like Usopp would enjoy the concept of Cincinnati style chili. Like either that or Culver's.
DohMance Don loves the Culvers.
DohMance Dawn is not sponsored by Culver's, but if you want to after this episode, uh, we'll take some money. We'll take some burgers.
We'll take some root beer.
Yeah. Oh, I had a Culver's root beer with dinner tonight.
Jealous.
Mm-hmm. I also went to the zoo today.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. I caught a perfect diglet.
Luke's favorite is
Reverse.
Doug Trio.
Or wait, no. I got the perfect diglet yesterday. I got a perfect manky today.
Oh, you got a monkey at the zoo.
A
How
pig
novel.
monkey. Yeah. Over near the gorillas.
How
I stole the new
perfect.
gorilla baby into my Pokemon game.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Reverse Eye Patch wants to know what game show would each Straw Hat be the best and worst at? I feel like
Those are two lists, and those are two very big ones I would have to really think about.
yeah, I feel like we each pick a member of the Straw Hat character for us to discuss, and then we go that way. Because I feel like Robin seems like a person who you think would be very good at a lot of game shows that are like trivia based, but you know what the problem is there, Janine?
She's from a different world that doesn't like have the same stuff.
Exactly. So
I
go
feel
ahead.
though that she would still be good, if being able to, from what we know of language and that being similar, would be really good at something like Wheel of Fortune, where it's just drawing a conclusion based on the words that are available, or the
Yeah,
letters that are available to create the words. And I feel like Robin can be able to do that very well.
yeah, yeah. I feel like Wheel of Fortune, Robin would be very good at that, especially because she could also probably stop the wheel where she wanted.
That would be really dope too.
Hmm. But where would she be bad? I feel like it would have to be something that goes very much against her nature. Like we saw, she would not participate in the giant docking robot. So
Exactly.
what is the game show equivalent of that where you're doing ridiculous things?
Phew.
Because part of me wanted to say like hole in the wall or whatever it is, where you have to like jump through the holes, but I think she'd be very good at that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not really. I also don't watch a lot of game shows.
See, this is the thing.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, like my mind is like, most of the game show stuff that I watch is on Dropout.
and the most of the stuff that I'm thinking of right now, like, was on the air 20 years ago.
I mean, that's still fine, but yeah, I uh, was You Can't Say That on Television a game show?
God, I don't know.
Any game where Robin might get slimed or is not supposed to laugh, I think that would be, or has to participate in something ridiculous. I think that would be the downfall.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So no, like, Family Double Dare.
Oh, the Straw Hats on like Family Double Dare would be awful at trivia and knowing the answers and great at all the physical challenges.
Except for Robin, who would refuse to do any.
Oh yeah, Robin would not go on. Robin would not be like part of the 4 or 5 person family.
Hmm.
Like I feel like Luffy would have to be on there. Nami would be on because she hears that she has a chance to win money.
Because
Sanji is on because he wants to be there with Nami. Usopp's on because Usopp's just going to be in for that, and then I feel like they bring in Chopper because Zoro wouldn't participate.
yeah, he would hate to be on the same team as Sanji.
Hmm. Yeah, and I feel like Brooke Brooke would not be allowed on television.
I think Brooke. So you think you can dance?
I'm not sure I would consider that a game show though.
America's Got Talent.
Yeah, um, yeah, yeah. I mean, the skeleton guy who plays music and is a silly goofball, but also Brooke would get canceled.
You think so?
Oh yeah, like if Brooke got Twitter where Twitter was 5 years ago, he would just message multiple women as soon as he gets on. Can I see your panties? And Brooke gets canceled.
I feel like what happens is that he doesn't know how it works and
Hmm.
just types out, "Can I see your panties?" just as a tweet, and then gets so many responses that are actually panties that he just like circles around people that are already gonna give him that stuff. You know, like if it's
Fair,
already read, like the reason why he's asking is because he doesn't have an internet and he doesn't have pornography. All he had was just himself and his own bones to play with.
fair. I feel like Sanji is the one who is more likely to get in trouble when he gets the opportunity for online porn.
Now Sanji's obviously gonna be a chopped. He's gonna be the best at.
Hmm.
He's gonna be the worst at Guy Fieri's fucking uh
Guys, grocery games?
Guy's grocery games. Yes.
No, he would be great at that. He can get through that grocery so fast.
That is true. And he could be
Like,
able he has been very creative to be able
mhm.
to make gourmet stuff out of leftovers.
Yeah.
But what would he do bad? Maybe he would be bad at chopped then because he would have hot people that he's going to be like cooking like against and like they can be able to do mean things like against him and he would just let it happen.
No, he would be awful at Fear Factor.
Whoa, yeah, that's right.
Like, he has standards in a way that I don't think Zoro would have issues with. Like, it would be like, all right, you need to sit in this box of live cockroaches for 10 whole minutes. And Sanji's like, no, I'm not doing that. And Zoro's like, oh, yeah, twirly brow, I'm going to sit in here for 20 minutes. And then he sits in there for 20 minutes and he's falling asleep. And then he tries to get out and he gets lost.
Zoro would be the best at Ninja Warrior, but he would be the worst at The Amazing Race.
I think Sanji would be better at Zoro, would be better than Zoro at Ninja Warrior. Because Zoro is all about power and cutting through things. Sanji is far more athletic and speedy. Zoro is power, Sanji is sky type. Anyways, I feel like that's enough conversation about game show about game
We don't
shows.
know anything about Frankie though. And I'm
Oh,
trying
we
to
also didn't
remember
mention
like I'm trying to think about well, like there's no medical fucking
Frankie
game
goes
show.
on BattleBots.
Yeah, Frankie goes on BattleBots, and I think that's the
Mhm.
both best and worst thing. Best because like he is going to definitely win, but worst because he's going to be the reason why there's new rules in play.
Mhm. You can't violate wartime laws. You can't get a contract through the government by doing this. Um, like Chopper, I think would do well on a lot of things.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah, I think he'd do well on there. I feel like the problem with Chopper is that he's going to be too trusting at a lot of things. Chopper on Catfish.
Chopper on Big Brother. He
Yeah.
he signs up for Big Brother because he actually thinks it's going to be like an actual Big Brother that he's gonna get.
Mhm.
And then it turns out like no, you just gotta live in a place and everybody's gotta see you. And like everybody's being mean to him because he's different and he doesn't know why he's getting voted out.
Oh, the audience would love him though, because Big Brother is the audience vote you out.
Audience can be able to bring you back in, I
Mhm.
think. There's
Oh
some
yeah,
things they can be able to
the audience is going to keep bringing him back in. But yeah, no, Chopper would believe any lie that he is told.
That's true.
Also, whenever he goes into the interview room, he's just he's in it the wrong way. Mike Patton, artist for the show and birthday boy when we are recording this, wants to know what's your hat size. I don't know.
I don't know the actual like size, but I have a very large head. I have a large a lot of things because I'm like over 6 feet tall. Very large for a woman, like very like normal shaped and size, just proportioned, extra,
Hmm.
and like it's hard. I've had like a lot of difficulty finding like regular hats that fit me. Most commercial baseball caps and
Hmm.
a good number of beanies just will not fit my head.
Uh, yeah, I don't think. I've tried to measure my head with a tape measure that I have on my table
That
down
does
here,
not
and
sound like the way.
well, I had my headphones on at the same time. So let me take my headphones off for a moment so I can
And
keep on
still
the.
use the tape measure? I feel like there's a better way.
You're supposed to measure around your head. The alternate thing is they say get a piece of string and then measure the string.
That feels like the smarter thing to do.
Oh, well, who's got a piece of string, Janine?
I think I have one around here. Can you wait a couple of weeks to get it?
Okay, I have a old power cord on the floor down here, so let me try.
While Luke's doing that, I'll go ahead and talk about other things about hats. I don't have a cowboy hat despite being in Texas all of my life because, not a lot of stuff could be able to fit. But I've been thinking about getting myself a pink cowboy hat and pink boots. Is it because I've been listening to Pink Pony Club a lot? Maybe. But, it's also just kind of been the vibe for me since I've been watching wrestling a lot more because one of my favorites is Hangman Adam Page, and he's hasn't worn a cowboy hat ever or pink
Mhm.
cowboy boots, but has worn pink before. Um, it's just I don't know. Like I feel like a lot better inside. Like being from Texas kind of used to be something that I was ashamed about, but now it's kind of like something that's just kind of like not really ashamed of, not really proud about. It's just kind of a thing, and it's just kind of like a thing that I feel like I could be able to like own up to a little bit more. Just wearing that more country attire because I did go to school out in Helotes, and that is what people wore to school there for me. I mean, not all the time because it's like the folks gonna wear a hat to school, but the boots and the tight jeans, we called them nut huggers because they would just hug on the nuts.
I'm about 7 and 7/8. I also have a big head.
Oh, that was for the hat size. Okay, I
Yeah.
was almost impressed for a sec.
Oh. No. Ow.
No, no, we don't need to measure any more things.
Okay. Yeah, I got a big head. I got a hat when I went on vacation and it was too small.
Oh no.
It was fine. It was one of those things where it's like, oh, you buy three things and they're all only $20 each. And so I got a bad bathing suit that was too small, a hat that was too small, and some sunglasses that were fine.
Well, hell yeah, $20 sunglasses.
Hmm. Yeah. The other things I left behind because it's like, yeah, I don't want to deal with bringing them back. All right. And then King Atticus wants to know, what is your favorite game based on The Simpsons?
Ah, man. You'd think I would have played any of them, how much, like, a lot of them were prime PS2 gaming stuff. I haven't really played I've played some of Simpsons Hit and Run. I did
Mhm.
like how the driving felt, how that controlled. But literally compared to any other Simpsons game that have happened, like I have not touched those. So by default, Simpsons Hit and Run, by being the thing that I played for a few minutes, it might have even been a demo. That's my pick.
So my pick is going to be Simpsons Bowling, which is a arcade game, and my family, my mom and dad came from Michigan, or they spent a good portion of their lives in Michigan, and so it used to be we would go up after Christmas to go and visit a bunch of their friends around Detroit. And there was a hotel that we would stay at that had the Simpsons bowling. It was one of those things where after we had done our Christmas party, I would get some change from my parents and I would get to go and play Simpsons bowling. And I just have a lot of good memories of that.
That's really sweet.
Hmm. Yeah, I came with you at a nice, heartfelt suggestion. So apparently, it only came out in 2000, which is weird because I feel like I played it before 2000, but also time is time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it also seems like the prime time for a machine like that would have been like either before that when the Simpsons were, you know, really large in the earlier
Mhm.
seasons, or after it when bowling video games got bigger after the release of the Wii Sports.
Yeah, but yeah, that is what I would say because I never really played other Simpsons games. Like I didn't get Hit and Run or the others because I until I got the Nintendo Switch, I was like, I get like 6 games for a console, and that's all I ever get for it.
Hmm.
Just purely from a, well, I'm going to be good with these games that we have, and my parents won't necessarily get other games. And what if you get a bad game? Like the bad game fear is something that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I spent $5 on this game and I don't like the controls and I'm going to stop playing it. Like that's a real thing. But like if that game is going to be $60 and it turns out that, oh no, this game is janky as shit, that sucks. Especially before like you fully understood how trading in games worked.
Yeah, yeah. Especially, you didn't have a lot. You didn't have as much as you have now. to
Mhm.
like know
Look
what you're
up.
getting
Yeah,
into sometimes.
and because in my house we had Socrates, which was a weird educational game system that my parents got because they're like, well, you'll like this more than other things. Then we also got a Sega Genesis, and then like the year before the GameCube came out, we got a N64, which was like way too late for it to be something that people would be excited about. And then we did get a GameCube a few years after that. My brother got a original Xbox, and then I got the Wii, and then my Wii got stolen, and then I got a replacement Wii, and then the Wii U, and then the Switch. But like even the Wii U, I wasn't really buying a lot of games on that. But the Switch, yeah, I'll buy games. I will buy a game called Whole.io where you just eat things as a whole. Also, there's that new One Piece Odyssey game, which I'm interested in trying out for the Switch. But I'm also still playing Pirate Warriors 4 again, so that can wait. That wraps us up for this episode. Next episode, we're going to have new Simpsons, we're going to have new One Piece, we're going to have characters. So get excited for episode 60. No, this was. Yeah, get ready for episode 60 as Luffy is just going to get a whole bunch of men inside of him.
Wait, what?
Janine, where can you be found?
You could be able to find me on Twitter for some reason and Blue Sky at Janine Juliet. You could find me on Instagram at Janine is dope. And you could be able to also find me on the Discord for our show that Luke's going to talk about in a bit. Luke, where do people find you when they want to talk to you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Coltreg, KOLTREG. I am also on Reddit under the same name. I haven't had anyone reach out about the show yet, but that is an option. I am also on Discord if you want to search for me for the same name. That's fine. And you can also find my itch.io and my Gumroad page where you can find comics that I've written. And I've got more comics coming out this year. And oh, I'm going to be doing a comic show in like a bit over a month. Yeah, September 14th, I will be at the Middletown Comic Expo in Ohio, where I'll be paneling with uh, someone who I need to double check and confirm on that. But that should be a fun time. And I will also be at CXC, which is a even bigger and much more well-established comic show here in Columbus, Ohio. Our cover art is by Mike Patton, who you can find most places at Patton Pending, PATTENPENDING. Follow him on Instagram. He posts the art without the frames that we put up around it. And if you want to check out the website, go to DohManceDawn.com. That is where you can find image galleries. That is where you can find a bunch of other stuff that we've done, including a link to the character matching list. We also have a YouTube page where you can watch the show in video form. That wraps us up for this week. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. We're just over an hour. Smooth sailing. Janine, you have anything to say as we head out?
Hey, if you want to get somebody into One Piece and you're wondering which arc would be the best one,
Not this one.
not this one.
Yep.
No, do the one for like Nami's hometown. Like that one with Arlong, that one is a lot better. Do not come to Thriller Bark. Maybe even like wait a little bit longer for them to get there. Like make sure they have the filler episodes. So they're good and invested because,
Give
yeah,
them a heads up that some stuff in Thriller Bark is really shitty, because One Piece generally very good, but there are some choices that are made that are not great, and I'll be giving warnings as we get closer to more of those.
yeah. I mean, just based on a numbers game, 1,000 episodes, not all of them are going to be great. Not all of them are going to be like the coolest thing, and
And not
like there's going to be blind spots in some people's writing that will make them not realize that, despite the fact that a woman is not getting physically hurt, the things that happen are still hurting her.
yeah, but One Piece is 27 years old now, so damn, it's been running a while.
Yeah.
All right, catch you on the flip mode. Smooth sailing.